This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, new Etheria version of She-Ra. This would be our first new Etheria figure in this line so far. And, well, I'm not sure it's off to a good start to be honest, but we'll look at more of that once we get her opened. But on the front, we see her fighting against what I would assume is the new Etheria Mantana. And we have Lookie there in the background underneath the 40th anniversary. If we turn this to the side, we can see both Kyle and Swiftwind. Kyle is in his toy colors. Of course, it continues the image, so there we show kind of the whole thing there. Honestly, the artwork for this figure does look pretty good. It just doesn't feel like it translated well to toy form. And what's especially depressing is, once again, the artwork depicts her with bigger breasts than what they give us on the figure. Honestly, it's kind of a boring pose. I don't know exactly what they're trying to go for there, but it just looks really awkward, in my opinion. But why don't you guys tell me what you think of that one? And finally, on the back, we get a product shot here showing She-Ra with her power sword, which actually is based more on the original toy sword or than the animation swords. The Fright Zone is in the background, and also as part of this wave was Terraclaw's Skeletor, Ninjor. I don't think I got Ninjor in yet. And of course, She-Ra here. Come to think of it, wasn't Terraclaw's Skeletor part of a different wave? Maybe not. She-Ra, the most powerful woman in the universe. For the honor of Grayskull! She-Ra stands with the powers of New Etheria against the evil Horde and protects the boundaries of the universe from an invasion. So why don't we go ahead and open this sucker up, shall we? By the way, this came from Walmart, and as you can see, the box did get crushed, as per usual with stuff being shipped from Walmart. Remember when they announced that they were going to take more care of their collector-friendly stuff? I don't know what kind of plastic they're using on the feet this time, but man, that was a pain to try to get her feet on the stand. So included with this figure, she comes with, looks like an extra set of hands, her shield, and her sword. To me, honestly, she looks like she's been roofied. Just her eyes, like the positioning of her eyes to me makes her look like she's drugged, like she's been roofied. I guess like maybe Mantana there just kind of going up to her at the bar one day and go, "Ah, She-Ra, here, have me drink for me." I don't know why I just did kind of a French accent for Mantana, but whatever. They kind of use this, this plastic is supposed to have more of an iridescent sheen to it, which if it worked, it would have looked good, but I don't feel like it worked very well. And I think, I don't know, I'll have to see this figure in the stores to try to look at the faces some more, just to see if the eyes are better on any of them, or if they're all looking like she's drugged. You can go to the back here. She's got her little cape. Her hair looks pretty good on the back, though. It's a little messy. They've got a dry brush of something in there with it. Let's see if we pop her head off. Her cape comes off, and the shoulder pads are attached to this plastic back here. And then this is all held on by the collar on her neck. And then, of course, the soft goods cape, which is the thing about Masterverse I really appreciate is the dry goods capes. We can kind of get a little slightly better look at her torso here. And it looks to me... Oops. Yep. She is molded in the iridescent plastic, and then she is painted. Which makes sense. They would have to do that if they wanted to do it that way. Otherwise, they would have had to have, you know, made this a separate piece. Actually, you know what? That probably would have looked better, honestly. If this top part had been molded in flesh tone, and then they added the top to it after the fact, one, it would have given her a little bit more depth to her boobs. Yes, I know, I'm obsessed with boobs. If you ever saw my ex, you'd understand why. But yeah, I think it would have been nicer if they'd gone ahead and molded it, added this on as a separate piece, glued in place, probably, because, you know, they don't like when you can take the tops off their figures. They learned their lesson with the Battleground Tila from Classics. So I think that would have looked better. Plus, you don't have to worry about the paint coming off. Although, I will admit, at least in this light, the paint match between the skin tone on the torso, or the chest, and the arms is actually really well done. Unless, of course, they molded all of it, or painted all of it, which I doubt. She's also got somewhat muscular arms and legs. Like, I feel like there might be a little more muscular to this than we usually see in the female action figures from Masterverse. But let's go ahead and put our cape back on. Also, you'll note here, it's asymmetrical here, with this side being a little bit taller than this side. Kind of like with the original She-Ra figure design for Toy-Wise. Take this off while we go ahead and take a look at the articulation. Now, I'm assuming the hair is going to interfere a bit here, but we can kind of look down. Can't really look up. The hair definitely gets in the way. And, of course, when we start turning the head, the hair gets in the way for that. Also, she's pushing the shoulder pauldrons when she does that, so that's kind of weird. But that's about as far as we can get the left and right without getting super awkward. Arm-wise, we can hinge up and down. We can spin around. Although it does knock the pauldron off there. And we're back to the single joints for the... Ooh, that's a weird looking joint, isn't it? So it looks like you can break her elbow practically, but yeah, they're still doing the single joints in the female figures again. Like, they had double joints in the female figures before. I don't understand why they've started to give us single joints in the elbows again with these figures. That's just cheap and lazy. Because most of the Revelation and Revolution figures, I think all of them had double joints. The first Catra that they did, the first She-Ras they did, they had double joints. But it was like starting with the new Eternia Evo Lyn was when they started giving us single joints again. That's going to really tick me off with Tila too when that comes out. She's got a boob cut, so she can move at the waist and slide around. You can get kind of a bend back on the ab and a little bit forward, but not much. The waist is articulated. I'm trying to figure out if her skirt is glued on. I think her skirt is probably glued into place somehow. I don't think it's part of her. I don't think it's part of her diaper, but it does look like there's like a pin in there that's probably glued. Maybe on the front and the back. There is a split in it, so we should be able to kick forward pretty far, kick back a little, and kick out. She is wearing underwear, granny panties, thigh swivel, double joint in the knee. At least they've left us with that so far. I wonder when they'll take that away. We've got a boot cut here, but I can't get the spin on. Oh, okay, there. That one spun. This side, it feels like it's I don't know. It's stuck. It's fused. Maybe I'll heat it up and see if I can get it loosened. Not that I really probably need to be honest, but so we have the hinge at the foot again and a spin. The gold that they're using on her shoes and her feet also kind of have more of a sheen to them. Not quite the same iridescence, but kind of close, like pearlescence, I guess. But you can obviously tell the difference between this being painted up here and this being molded down there. Right? Yeah, to me that it looks like it's painted. Yeah, it's molded in... You know what? I'm not surprised. If they painted this part, if they painted the torso, why they didn't just bother... Why didn't they mold this in that gold and then paint that so that it's continued to match up? Fit her sword in her hand. Ooh. I do kind of feel like the sword is too short. Let's see. All right. So we will take this, spin it in there like this. Then we'll push this through, and voila! We've got her properly holding her shield in a hand that doesn't bend enough for it to properly look like she's holding the shield. God, I wish she had double jointed elbows. You know, this could actually make me want to buy the Masterverse less. So overall here on our She-Ra, I think they could have done a better job. The concept didn't look too bad. The artwork definitely looked good. It's just the follow through on the figure itself, not as good as it could have been. They're cheaping out on us on the female figures. I don't understand why. Said they've already got like parts molded for them, so why are you giving us the single jointed elbows again? Like some of the larger Masterverse guys, they've done single joints too, like Snout Spout and the big ass Horde Trooper. And I'm going to reiterate once again, I don't know what's going on with this face sculpt and face paint. But again, to me, she just kind of looks like she's been roofied. You know, maybe it'll be different when I take the pictures and get a closer look at her face. Maybe it'll look different to me then, but I doubt it. But overall, I guess it's not a bad figure. It's just not a good figure, in my opinion. And I would have liked to have seen them do a really good job on this because I do like She-Ra. But why don't you guys go ahead and let me know exactly what you think about this. And do you also think she looks like she's stoned? And please be sure to like the smash button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, please feel free to subscribe. I thank you for watching. For the honor of Grayskull! Peace and love.